Good day, traders. This is Rick with your futures trading coach aftermarket update for the live trading alert call room. Today is Wednesday, January 11th. I'm going to run through real quick what we did today. We had a lot of trades today, so I'm going to just recap them really quick. We had like nine trades, but different, but sometimes we entered them twice because we got shaken out. We had the confirmation hearings today. We had the crude news, and we also had the first press conference with President-elect Donald Trump. Market was waiting on that, I believe, to some degree because things were kind of just flat around there until the crude news and until that all happened. But I'm going to run through everything from left to right. This is in no particular time order. We had a big downtrend in gold. There was entries before the room opened. I didn't want to hit it down at the bottom, so I said we would wait for it to come the other way. If we could get a long. And that is exactly what happened. Unfortunately, the press conference was supposed to start at 10. He didn't come on until about 10:20. We tried to hang in there until he was coming on. We got long at 83, 80.3. We tried to hang in there multiple times right when he was getting ready to come on in here. I told everybody, just get out. Get out at entry, whatever. And I said likely it's probably still going up, but we can't take that chance because who knows what's going to happen and how the market's going to react. And by the way, this was the same thing in here where you see these dots here and these dots here in the ES. It was the same thing. We were long. Told everybody, he wasn't on. I thought we could sneak it in. Said, you just got to get out. So that was a scratch too. So this was a break even here, although it did work. Only because of it was going up anyway, in my opinion. But because of the news there, we just didn't want to be in. I said, once it popped up here, I said, let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get short. We did try a ZL short at 84.2. That one made 8 ticks. Said, get your butt into a risk-free situation because we don't know what's going to happen with the volatility. Sure enough, it came back up. That was a break even. Came back up here again. I said, look, the thing's coming down it was either coming down from here or coming down from here. We hit it in here. This is the same trade, basically. We hit it in here, made 8 ticks, got taken out for break even. Said if you want to get in again, go ahead and get in again. Up at 88. And that time it did work. It came down, target 84.5. And then I told everybody when it got to 81, you just got to get completely out of the trade. Again, circle was there the whole time. It even retested for those who didn't get out there. 81. And that was a beautiful, beautiful trade. That one made up to 70 ticks or so. On crude, for those who wanted to take a crude news trade, we got short at 51.28. And I told everybody that if it comes down, likely, if we can get into a risk-free trade, likely it's going to come down to flat on the day, which was 82, and that was about a 46 tick trade. Literally, I told everybody, make sure your targets are set to get into a risk-free trade with your ATM. Set your second targets up, and ultimate target would be 82. Literally, it just went right down, boom, filled us, and it was just a beautiful trade. And I said, make sure you are completely out of the trade. Obviously, you can see it went there, hung around there. Next candle open, hung around there a little bit. I said, get completely out of the trade because this thing could go all the way back up. We were actually looking for higher before, and didn't set up. So when it started, I said this thing can come up. They can take care of business to the upside, and that's exactly what happened. We could have gotten in on this big green candle here, but we didn't. We waited. We got in on an S play because I didn't want to put as much risk on. We got in an S play, and I wanted the news to settle down a little bit. S play was 51.57, 51.57, and you'll see that one went up from 51.57 up to, I said, up to 52.20. As an initial, and that's what most people ended up. Most people didn't end up getting all the way up to here because we were in other stuff too. And I also said to move our stop up to trail it. So somewhere in here, people would have been out, but 52.20 was my initial, and that went from 57 up to 63 ticks to my call target. It actually went higher than that, and you'll see here it went way higher, but we'll say 63 ticks because that was the target that I had, and that was a beautiful trade as well. In the ES, we tried multiple times. We got long at 65.75. at the 8:57 candle. That one worked out for 2 points on a power play. Tried to get long again at 9:39. That one was a understanding trade. That was 67.50. And that one made a point. Didn't really know follow through after that. Um, and then when the market came back down, so you can try a short. We got short a 65.50. That was on the 9:54 candle. And that one made about a point. That was about it. What they were waiting for is they were waiting for the Trump news conference. So, he was getting ready to come on there. They were preparing for it. I figured we could take it down, get risk free. Maybe it keeps coming, which it did over here. But uh, and then over here uh, we tried to get long again to see if it would go up because they couldn't go down. I figured, okay, if they're not going to go down, they'll come up. But again, we were waiting for him. As soon as they said he was coming on, I'm just like, you know what, you got to get out. Same thing with the gold here. Got out of the trade in here. He came on. Luckily, we did. It got dumped, and then we just didn't take this long here, and we didn't take this short here. There was opportunities here to do that, but we did not do that just because of the news. And then normally I'm not worried about that type of stuff. I'm typically much more worried about a crude report, but because it was Trump's first press conference and we don't know how the market's going to react, I figure we had a bunch of trades already. Let's just chill out. Um, Came down, came back up. I said we want to try one more trade before we leave. Power play long 50, 65.75. It went up to 67.75. Up to 2 points. And I said, look, we're just ZL was coming in here. This is an area where we know it's either going to right here, where it's either going to follow through or potentially reverse to some degree. So I said, just go to entry. I hung out in the room until we got taken out an entry on our runners, or if people got a point or two, they were out of the trade. That's fine as well. And just a great day, great day in the room. Love the volatility. And we are going to come back and do it all over again tomorrow. So until then, everybody have a great day and safe trading.